Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Art of the Hustler podcast. I am your host, Adam, and today I'm going to try to cover three different little topics today. The first one is going to be getting paid by vendors that owe you money. We're going to talk about haggling prices and a new hire of a guy that I just hired today who started, it was his first day today, of a new source of revenue that I'm trying to build within one of my companies, within my IT company, Science. So the first one I'd like to talk about is getting paid. And specifically, this is about getting paid by clients that owe you money. Meaning you've already done the work, you sent them a bill, and now they're like, yeah, we're working on it. We just don't have the money right now. Or, oh, the check is in the mail. Or, oh, we didn't receive your invoice. Or, whatever the multitude of excuses are for why someone is not paying you after you've already done the work. This happens a lot. A lot. So much so that actually, what's interesting is when I first started out, this is probably a good little story for you. So when I first started my IT consulting company, it was 2008. I'll tell you a little story. Sit back and relax and grab a nice little beverage or smokable preference. It was back in 2008 in October. It was on Halloween. I was at a new job that had just hired me. I thought I was making good money. They were paying me $155,000 a year. Had a nice corner office on Wall Street, and it was a fun company. I mean, like, the guys were super cool. It was a great thing. Well, anyway, I was sitting there at work, and I got a phone call in the afternoon that one of my, I won't say friends, but a guy that I hang out with, fairly regularly, at one of the bars. He just got killed on his motorcycle. He was run over by a semi in Williamsburg, right on the other side of the Williamsburg Bridge. Those of you that are familiar with New York, Manhattan, etc., when you get up to the Williamsburg Bridge, there's an entrance right under the BQE or off into Williamsburg, and you basically got a whole bunch of people trying to merge in two different directions in one very tiny spot. And, well, apparently a semi really wanted to get over and didn't see the motorcycle, so he got squished, died instantly. I was really bummed out because, just literally the night before, I had conversations with him, and we were talking about setting up a ride across the country following summer. So we were really, trying to get some stuff going, and that obviously came to a pretty much a halt. But yeah, so I got this phone call that the guy that I know, pretty well just got killed, and I just started thinking, I was like, wow, man, what am I doing? That could have easily been me. I ride over that bridge all the time on my motorcycle. That could have. There's no reason it couldn't have been me. And I remember him even saying, the night before, that he was a little bit skittish because he put these new mirrors on his bike and he wasn't feeling too comfortable about it. And hearing that, that he died, it's like, man, it's like, I bet that's what it was. I bet he probably didn't see the car, or he didn't see the truck, or something happened, and just got bad luck, really. But yeah, so I started reflecting on myself. I'm like, dude, what the fuck am I doing here? This dude's dead. I could be dead. And it's like, is this what I really want to be doing right now? Read my eulogy. Spent all his time working, doing shit that he hated for other people. I was just like, fuck that. And that's why I kind of had my epiphany. And my good friend Danny, he built a sound audio engineering company called Sulus. It's a high-end audio engineering company, and he's been trying to get me to quit my job for years. We met at DEF CON years ago. It's a hacker convention out in Vegas. Super smart guy, ridiculously smart. I think he sold one of his first businesses or companies or ideas at Yahoo for $200,000 when he was 20. But he's been trying to get me to quit. He keeps telling me, I tell everybody else now, quit your job, quit your job, quit your job. Stop working for other people. So I'm like, well, what am I going to do? He's like, who gives a shit? You're smart. You'll figure it out. I don't know. That whole thing that pretty much most people go through. I went through it all myself. I didn't start out Entrepreneur 101. But, so anyway, so it kind of registered that day. I was like, you know what? Fuck this. So I went up to my boss at the time, and I was like, hey, I'm out of here, man. I was kind of bummed at the same time. I was just like, dude, I'm out. I'll see you guys around. Wish you guys best of luck. And it was a Friday, or actually, no, it wasn't. I don't remember what day it was. I bet we could look. We just look at whatever Halloween was in October of 2008. But let's take a look on my new fancy keyboard I got. It's actually pretty awesome. Let's see, October 31, 2008. It was... I have to click. Come on, Google. Just give me the answer. Friday. It was a Friday. Okay, cool. So I'm not too far off in what I'm telling. So yeah, so I told them, they're like, okay, well, we'll see you on Monday. And I was like, no. Like, what do you mean? Drop my badge on my desk. I'm like, dude, I quit. I don't want to do this anymore. Like, what are you talking about? You just started. I've only been there like maybe two months, maybe 3 tops. And like, what's wrong? Is there something? Did we do something? Whatever. I was like, no. I just realized, this isn't. I don't want to work for anybody anymore. I just don't want to. There's too many friends of mine. I've lost a lot of friends over the years through all kinds of things, and this is just, I guess, the straw that broke the camel's back for me. And I was just like, you know what? It's not what I want to do. I want to work for myself. I want to make my own hours. I don't know how, but I'll figure it out. I'm not an idiot. So, thank you for everything. I'll see you guys around. They're like, okay, well, if you change your mind, give us a call. Okay, whatever. From there, I went off, and I had like kind of a bender. I went down to Brazil for a while, sampled a lot of things down there, and just had kind of fun. I've been working so hard so long for other people, working massive hours, consultant. Anyone that's a traveling consultant knows that lifestyle. That gets brutal quick. But so now I'm home and I have nowhere to go, nothing to do. I just paid off. I had no debt at that particular moment in time because one of my life coaches, my buddy Jack, I call him my life coach. He's not really like my life coach, but he's just the smartest guy I've ever met when it comes to making life decisions. So I always call him. Still to this day, I call Jack to get advice from him. He's a body piercer out in Casper, Wyoming. That's my life coach. I shit you not. He's the smartest person I know when it comes to making very complicated life decisions. So he's always helped me out. So he's the one that told me get debt free. He's like, no matter what the fuck it takes, stop doing shit, stop buying stuff you don't need, stop taking cabs you don't need, and just get debt free. Then you'll really start to taste freedom. And I was like, oh, okay, whatever. Anyway, I did. So I was debt free at this time, and I was single by myself. I had no girlfriend, I had no kids, I had nothing. All I had was rent and a cell phone bill. So I went on a bender until all the way through January. And then January 1st, New Year's over, my last party day. And I was like, okay, you know what? I got to take shit seriously because now I got bills. All of a sudden reality hit. I was like, oh shit, I have bills to pay. I got rent to pay. I need food and I haven't worked in a while. And oh shit, what am I going to do? I've never done this before. So I really started panic mode kind of hitting. Anyway, so I secured my first client. And it was I'm not sure if I should say the vendor because of what happened. But, it was down in Cherry Hill, New Jersey, and the deal I worked out was, I forget what it was, but let's just say it was $100 an hour with travel and expenses were to be paid by the client. And I traveled from Manhattan to Cherry Hill, New Jersey, which is almost a 2-hour train ride, back and forth every day for about 4 weeks, something like that. And then I sent them my first invoice. And then they said, oh, you didn't deliver the work you were supposed to. It wasn't the work that we wanted. So we're not paying you. I was like, whoa, what are you talking about? My invoice was almost $5,000. I'm like, I need that money. Well, I was counting on it. Like, you owe it to me. What do you mean you're not going to pay me? And yeah, so that was fun. So my very first client, my very first invoice, the client said, we're not going to pay you. Fast forward a few months, I ate it. I wound up never getting paid from that client. Months later, almost I think a year later or even more, I found out through some friends I made over time that these people that ran this company, they actually were all ex-lawyers. And what they would do is they would bring in outside consultants to do work for them up to but just under $5,000 worth of billing. Because anything under $5,000 is small claims court. And I would have to go down to Philadelphia, which is where they were based out of, to file my claim according to the contract we had, and then it would be small claims and all this shit, and they're lawyers, so they know what the fuck's up, and they knew all the people in the courts or whatever around there, so they basically had it in the bag, so they knew what they could get away with, and that's what they were doing, some shady shit, so I got fucked out of my first gig, so I wound up calling friends, begging for a job immediately, anywhere, to do anything, wound up scrapping a couple things here and there to get a gig together, and started getting paid. But yeah, so I never got paid for that job. So the very first one screwed me. So anyway, let's fast forward to today. So there's a client of mine, And I've been doing work for them for a couple months now. And they've been kind of paying me on my invoices, but not enough. I mean, they still owe me from, right now it's February. They still owe me from November and December and now January. So, but the thing is, I really believe in this company and I'm really down to help them out. I know they're struggling financially, but I know that they will get the money. So it's one of those things where I'm in it knowing full well the risk that I'm taking. So I'm not like upset or pissed off that I'm not getting paid. It's more like, how can we work together so I can help you get the money to get paid? You know, one of those things. So these guys owe me, I think I ran the numbers, and right now it's something I told, for just January, they paid some of it. So they owe me, I think, somewhere around $8,000 left of outstanding invoices. And I'm just trying to collect on that money. So I'm like, look, I really need to get this paid. Like, I know, we're going through our funding round right now, and once we get it, we'll pay you. You're the first ones. It's like, that's nice, but I got bills too, and I got employees to pay, and I got other guys that traveled for weeks on end that need their expenses reimbursed back. Like, one dude dropped $3,000 on a hotel. Like, he needs that money back because his credit card payments due. He's not a loan shark. He's eating interest on this thing, which is why I use American Express, by the way. I'm not plugging them. I'm just saying I am plugging them, but they're not endorsing me in any way, shape, or form. But Amex is the shit for that exact reason. But so it's like, okay, what do? I need to give money to these guys, but I don't want to keep stressing them because I know they don't really have the money. But tough shit, they hired me. That's the contract. They owe me. So what do we do? So I'm not going to say, fuck you, pay me. Because what they'll do is they'll get the money together somehow, but then they'll just terminate the contract because they know, well, they're so hard up on getting paid right away that it's just not worth it. And they're going to go with someone else that's more relaxed or maybe do it themselves or something like that. And I don't want that to happen because I'm really into this company and I really want to support them and help them because I see a much larger, longer contract here, opportunity with these people. So what it is, I was finally, after a couple weeks of going back and forth, like, yeah, bro, really need to get hooked up on. It's like, what can I do to help you? Like, so I helped them close some sales even. Like the Saturday morning was my birthday actually. And Saturday morning I get a phone call from one of their clients saying, hey, I have a couple questions about some stuff. Do you mind if you have a free minute? I'm like, yeah, no problem. Hit me up, bro. So he calls me up. Had about an hour conversation with the guy, clarified everything for him, helped him out. He was super happy. Following day, my clients got an email saying, awesome, we're totally going to take the units. Actually, we're planning on buying 3 times as much as we originally said after talking with me. So my phone call went well, apparently. But so that's the kind of thing. So that sale that they're going to get is going to generate income that they can use to pay me back on my invoices, and they know that. So then today, he's like, hey, I know we sold you the money, whatever we can do. If you can think of something we can help out. So I said, look, let's do this. Just pay me the amount that, like, the expenses that are owed for reimbursing, so to get, credit cards paid off that expenses were fronted for, and pay me just the amount of money that I need to pay my guys. Like, I'm not worried about getting paid for myself or the company's money. Just give me the money I need to pay my people, because that's my thing. My priority number one is pay my people. So I got them to agree to that. So I told them, whatever that number was, I think it was somewhere around, let's say $5,000 or, somewhere around there. So they're getting a temporary discount. Like, they can hold off on paying me a little bit of the money, and they're actually going to pay me out of their own personal pockets, like not company money, anything like that. They're actually paying me from their own personal checking accounts because I've helped them out so much. And they know the sacrifices that we've made, and they know that just like us, they pay your people. And they don't want us to disappear, so they're going to stretch out their personal funds, whatever they can do. And I appreciate that. It's like, I understand. I've had to do that myself. I know how much that sucks. But that's what startups are, man. They're brutal, and sometimes you got to do hard decisions like that. But the point here is that you can get creative on how you get paid. So don't think, oh, these guys owe me $1,000, pay me $1,000 or else, and I'm going to sue you. Or, that's just, you might get your $1,000, but I guarantee you that's the end of that contract. You're never going to see another dime out of them. And maybe that's what you want, who knows. But generally speaking, you want to try to get as much from them as possible. Anyway, so the point here is try to get creative. Try to come up with some solution that works for everybody, that allows you to get paid maybe a little bit up front. Maybe say, okay, look, I've done things as well, which I'm actually going to pitch to this client next because I know they want me to send another guy out immediately, which is why they wanted to kind of catch me up on something, is because they want more work done for me. But I know they still owe me a lot of money from January, and I can't front too much. So what I'm going to tell them is, look, I'm down to help you. I love this company. I'm interested in it. So here's what we're going to do. The pitch I'm going to put to them is, I'm going to keep working, but whatever you owe me has to be vested in equity in your company. Meaning, if you don't pay me, I own a piece of your company as collateral. So I want to go out and I'm going to do all this work. I'm going to front 20 grand, no problem. But if you wind up not paying me, I got 5% of your business, or whatever it is. I mean, it's probably not 5, probably less than that. But I'm just saying, that's kind of the idea, is that I'm going to get creative with them. And what's going to happen is one of two things. They're either going to be in a bad spot where they're going to be like, okay, let's do it. And then they can buy it back from me. They have first option to buy it back within the first year, but they don't buy it within the first year. Then, I just get to keep it, and tough tits for them. Or something like that. That's where everything gets creative. Everything isn't just, I worked for $5, you owe me $5. And if you don't pay me $5, there's all kinds of creative things that you can do. And people are generally open to being, to working with you. So just think of some cool things. Think like, hey, vested equity splits, maybe do slow payment plans with a little bit of an interest on top. Maybe they have something that you want. Maybe, let's say I was working for a car company. And I was like, okay, look, how about you hook me up with some free tires because they cost you $100, but retail they cost me $400, but you're going to give them to me for $300 or $200, really cheap price, where they still make a little bit of money, they pay you off or whatever. Generally, when things like that happen, though, I try to do it at cost. So it's like, look, those tires cost you $100, you sell them to me for $100. This way, you're not making any money, but then you're writing off our invoice, and I'm getting something that I need out of it. So I guess so what I'm trying to say is just get creative on how to get paid. Don't always threaten people, but sometimes you have to. I've definitely had to threaten people with lawsuits and lawyer letters and everything saying, fuck you, pay me. I've had governments owe me over $100,000 in outstanding invoices over 6 months old at one point. That's brutal. You ever try to go after a state government to get paid? Yeah, good luck on that one. I mean, there wasn't a government shutdown, but still, it's not like it was any easier. I got paid finally, but it was brutal, very brutal. But that happens in this line of work. You're not guaranteed to get paid when you're a consultant. Sometimes you're going to have to write off as a complete loss of a client just not paying you at all because they just, who knows, all kinds of reasons. But anyway, the big thing here is try to figure out a way to get paid. Try whatever you do. Don't just give up and don't threaten. Just try to find that middle ground. That's the best advice I can give for most clients anyway. I had another client. It was a hospital, and they owed me, I want to say somewhere around $30-something thousand. And it was one of those things where okay, you owe me a bunch of money, and they're saying, well, you didn't do the work delivered. And it's like, well, we did, and here's the proof, and here's the deliverables, and here's you signing off on it saying everything's fine, everything worked. You're just trying to get free work out of me because you don't want to hire me for another full-on contract, which people always do. They try to, I just want you to do this one little thing. It's like, no, that's a change order. That's not part of our original contract. You need to create a change order, and that's going to cost more money. They always try to weasel shit like that. Maybe we'll talk about change orders and SOWs and deliverables and all that stuff. That's probably another good topic, but not right now. Anyway, so what I wound up doing with them was after a couple conversations and lasted over 6 months, actually, it was finally, okay, look, I will deliver a document for you that outlines X, Y, and Z, and then once that's delivered to you, you pay me 100% of everything that's owed to me. So I ate a little bit of work that I shouldn't have done, but I wound up getting paid out of it. So it's one of those, sometimes you're just going to have to eat it a little bit just so you can get more in the back end, and that's what happened on that one too. So this kind of leads me into my next thing, which is haggling prices. And what I'm talking about here now is just purchasing of anything. Literally anything. You can haggle a price of every single thing that you buy if you wish to put the effort in. So the first thing I always do whenever I approach a situation is, do I think it's worth my time to haggle the price, and how much do I think I'm going to get? Is it going to be worth it to haggle? Am I going to spend a half hour to save, $2? that's not worth it. It's like my money, my time is worth more than $4 an hour. So therefore, no, I'm not going to haggle it. Maybe I'll have someone else do it. But my friend Joe, who's been on this podcast before, that motherfucker, he's the one that really taught me, like, you can haggle anything. I've seen that dude go into, like, Best Buy and haggle straight prices off the counter where it's like, no, we can't change the price. That's what it is. And he's like, nope, I need to talk to a manager. And sit there and fight and get a lower price, and sometimes it doesn't happen. Sometimes it does. But it's funny to watch. But so just the other day, I was buying some stickers for my El Encanto cannabis brand for my labeling. And I was using the company, I bought them from stickermule.com. No, nextdayflyers.com, actually. Next Day Flyers. They wound up being cheaper for the 4x3 flyers I needed. Or stickers. Anyway, so I picked up, I put the order online, and then it was like, okay, shipping's going to be $96. I was like, God damn, that just seems expensive. So I had a little chat with someone window thing, so I hit the button, hey, I want to chat with somebody. And what I did is I started talking to someone. I was like, hey, the shipping seems outrageous for just some stickers. I have an order over here with Sticker Giant, and it's going to be cheaper. I didn't, and it was actually more expensive. But they don't have to know all that. I was like, is there anything we can do? He's like, hold on, let me check something. Sure enough, he comes back. He's like, you know what? I talked to my manager. We can knock $20 off shipping. Wow. Sweet. So I just saved $20 for like a 3-minute web chat thing. So awesome. But the point is, it never hurts to ask. What it is you're embarrassed to ask. It's not that you think it won't work, or it's that it's not worth it. It's that we're kind of brought up in this mentality of, oh, I feel embarrassed to ask for money off. Like it's something wrong to do. And it's just, so people freak out when you ask them, like, oh, hey, give me $5 off. But fuck, man, do it. It works. People are down to give you a discount. Think about it. If you own a business, right? Let's say you own, I don't know, think about some business that you work for, you own, right? Or whatever line of work you're in. If some client of yours came up to, let's say a good client that has been going around for a while, and they came up to you and said, hey, you know what, bro? We've been doing a lot of business together. How about you just can you hook me up with anything, like cash discount, something? Is there anything you can do to help me out here? You're going to hook them up, right? You'd be like, look, I'm not going to give you a cash discount, but instead of giving you 5 widgets, I'll give you 6 widgets because you've been a good client. Awesome. Everyone's down to hook everyone up because for the same reason you may feel embarrassed to ask for a hookup of some kind. That person's going to feel embarrassed to not give you a hookup if you're a good client because they know you're such a good client. And on top of that, most people want to give you a hookup because they're like, oh, then they're going to like me more. And that's always a good thing too. Like, who's not going to want that, right? So it never hurts to ask. I always recommend it as much as possible just because people are willing to do it. So fuck it. So what I used to do, this is back, oh man, I was like in my mid-20s. A little trick, not trick, but a little, I guess, practice thing that I would do would be every time I learn a new technique or I'd be interested in something, I'd go out and force myself to do it all the time, everywhere. So an example would be, right now, you can haggle the price on anything. I want you to take the next week, okay, and every single thing that you're going to purchase, I want you to ask the person for a discount or an extra one or something. I want you to haggle that price somehow so that you get a little something extra out of it. And watch what happens. Watch how all of a sudden you start getting free stuff, discounted things, extra things, free shipping, free, all kinds of cool stuff just because you asked. No other reason other than that. And then what happens is because you force yourself to practice doing this, you're now cool with it. It doesn't bother you whatsoever to start asking people because you're used to it. And all of a sudden, check this out, you're going to start getting discounts. And now that you've kind of built this muscle memory up, you keep that flow going, you keep asking for discounts, you keep getting more wins, right? So I would say try it out. So from here on out, no matter what it is, whether you're buying from a mom and pop shop, flea shop, or you're at Best Buy, or you're at Barnes & Noble, whatever it is, wherever you are, ask for a discount. See what happens. What's the worst they say? No, and you pay the exact same price anyway? I can promise you this. Out of all the things I've ever purchased in my life, and out of all of those things I've ever asked for a discount or hookup on, not once, ever, Has anyone said no, and by the way, now it's going to cost you more? So the worst thing that could ever happen is they say no, and you pay the exact same price you would have paid anyway. So who cares? It's just like anything else that you're supposed to ask for. Why not ask? What's the worst that's going to happen? They say no. Oh no, my feelings are hurt. Grow the fuck up and grow a pair. Who cares? It's in your best interest, and it doesn't hurt them because they know, you know what? Think about it. If you get hooked up on something, are you going to go back to them for subsequent business over the people that didn't hook you up? Fuck yeah, you are, and they know that. That's why people have loyalty programs and all this other shit. Loyalty programs are just for more larger clients where they can't just do a hookup. Did you know that Home Depot actually gives every employee within their business, I want to say something like a $50 like leeway on things where they can make decisions up to $50. I'm not sure on the amount, but I'm sure you could Google it and find it out. But they empower their employees to make decisions themselves. They don't have to find a manager. They don't have to do anything. If a customer is like, hey, you know what? This thing is $45. I found it over at Lowe's and it was $43. Can you hook me up with the extra $2? That person at the register is gonna do it. They might say, show me the thing at Lowe's, whatever. But a lot of times they don't even care. They do not care because Home Depot empowers their employees to make those decisions on their own up to a certain amount of limit before they need a manager. I can't even tell you the amount of hookups I've gotten at Home Depot because of that. And you know what, though? I've spent hundreds of thousands of dollars at Home Depot. I don't shop at Lowe's ever because of that. So they may have saved me, a few $100 overall just because I asked for a discount or hookup or whatever. But they've gotten so much business in return. And that's what it is. That's how it works. And that's how, that's what we want. We all want that. We want a little bit of a hookup, and they want return business. Everybody wins. So I would love to hear anyone that's going out there how this works out. Like, hit me up in a week or hit me up in a day. I'd love to hear your just reactions of what it's like in a day. Because think about how many things you buy. You wake up, you buy a coffee, you go to Starbucks, ask for a discount. You wake up, you get your coffee, now you're going down the street, you get some gas. Go to the gas station and say, hey, is there any way I can get a discount on my pump? You guys do a cash discount. That's another one. Hey, I'm going to pay in cash. Can you hook me up there? Then at work, you go to lunch. Okay, you're going to go down to the deli. Say, hey, bro, I'm going to get a deli sandwich. Is there anything I can get a hookup? No, we can't. Okay, what if I commit to come back here every day this week for lunch? What about then? Can you hook me up? Can you give me a discount on my sandwiches now? Watch what happens. Then you go home, you buy some, you go to the toy store, buy something for your kid, whatever. We buy a lot of shit, even just the taxi rides, the Uber rides, whatever. So you just ask every time. Who cares what people think? You're going to get hooked up and create a longer lasting business relationship together. And that's what everybody wants on both sides. So ask. Okay, now that we're done with that one, we're going to go on to the last topic of today, which is my new employee, and his name is Jose. I just hired a guy today from Mexico. He's from Aguascalientes, Mexico. And I hired him to do recruitment for me. I hired him from Upwork.com. It's a place where you can get outsourced labor from all around the world, mainly remote work. So what I did is I get a lot of job requests from a lot of clients. I cannot fulfill them myself, obviously, because I'm one person. I only have a couple people that work for me to do it. And the job requests that I probably get, I don't even know, like 10, 15, 20 a day right now. Probably close to 15 a day because it's hiring season. Everyone just has new budgets for the year. So I'm getting all these job requests coming in for all kinds of shit that I've not even my line of business at all. People are like, oh, do you have any Java developers? Do you have any big data Hadoop guys? I'm like, no, that's not what I do at all. So for years, I've just been like, nope. I get the ones that I like to do, like identity management stuff, cloud architect stuff, the big paying ones, whatever. Those ones I go for, and those are the ones I pitch and, get my guys to do, whatever. And then for years, I've always thought about this, and I've just never really taken the time to act on it, is that I'm losing money, right? I mean, every time someone says, hey, I'm looking for a guy that can do this job. What they're saying is there is someone in the world right now that wants to pay money to get a guy that does this for them. Why am I not finding that guy for them and then taking a couple bucks off the top? Like, fuck, I'm just throwing away opportunities because it's not the job I want to do? I'm like, oh, whoa. That's wrong. So I don't know how to recruit people. That's It's a very very broad generalization. Obviously, I know how to recruit people because I've hired a bunch of people in my life, and I have employees and contractors. I've been doing it for years. But like full-time recruiters, those dudes know how to recruit people. They know the ins and outs of talking to people. They know where to find new people. They know how to build resume databases. They know where to contact other people. They know they've got other recruiters they can hit up and friends of newest, latest contracts that are out there, or what resumes they can get from people. They know, that's what they do. It's their job. That's not my job. It was never my job to be a recruiter. So what do? I hire a recruiter. So I hired this guy. He's been doing IT recruitment for 5 years. I got him paying for the first week $5 an hour. After that, $7 an hour. So it's not going to cost me a ton of money to try him out. Let's see what happens. I figured I'll give him a month. I asked him, I was like point blank, I was like, hey, look, in a month, how many jobs do you normally close? He said 1 to 2. Like, okay. Because you know what? If I can get one job, if I can get him to close one gig, I'm going to make $1,500 a month. That pays for him right there alone. And then it just stacks on top of that. And then I just hire more recruiters and whatever. So, I figured, hey, let's try him out and see what it is. So today we had our first meeting. Hired him on, got him his email, into our Slack, into the Google Docs and Trello and all that kind of stuff for our Kanban board things. And so today we started forwarding him some job requests, and he's out there trying to recruit. So I don't know. I have no idea what's going to happen. But I can tell you this, I know it's a lucrative business to be in. It's pretty much the business I'm already in. I'm just not actively taking all the jobs that are coming at me. So now I'm not taking all the jobs right now either, but I'm now opening up my spectrum of jobs that I'm entertaining. So instead of it being the very specific niche that I do, I'm now saying, okay, you know what? Also, I'm going to take on these other ones too. And he's going around looking for people. So, hey, let's see what happens. Because, shit, man. If this dude gets me one guy in a month, I'm going to make money. Plain and simple. And I think that's totally worth it to me. So we're going to see how well he does. He's a super awesome guy. He speaks English really well. I talked to him on the phone a couple times, interviewing and all that kind of stuff. And I don't know, I'm pretty stoked. What I'm not stoked about is throwing away money every time I delete an email because I'm like, oh, I don't know anyone that could fulfill that job. That's just stupid. So hiring out Jose, we're going to see how well he works out. We'll keep you guys updated on how that line of business is going too. But this is it, man. It's just about, this is the hustle. When I say like always, hustle harder, hustle, work harder than everybody else. It's just, this is what it is. It's just trying shit out. See if it works. If it doesn't work, move on. If it works, build on it. You know what I mean? There's so much out there and so much to do. But what I don't want to do is take away my time of the things that I do that make me the most money to do shit that's, frivolous or, a much more menial task that someone else could easily be doing where I could pay them to do it. So that's what I'm really trying to focus more on is hiring out more. I'm trying to hire more salespeople. That's another thing. So my Root Effects company, I'm actually bringing on a new partner strictly for biz development. He's great at that. His contact list is massive. His relationship managements are huge. So I'm working with him to see what maybe we can build together something. Because one thing I've noticed in all of my companies is that when I don't have a sales guy, it runs slow. When I have a sales guy, business picks up fast. And I've always just been reluctant to hire salespeople because it's like, man, it's like marketing. It's like you got to front all this money, especially for the line of work I do. It's like most of my work it's a 3 to 6 month lead time to close a sale. So by the time a sales guy starts working a client until a sale an SOW is even closed, I mean, realistically, it's close to 6 months, which means I got to pay a guy for like my identity management stuff. I'd have to pay someone close to $80,000 to $100,000 a year salary for 6 months to find out if this dude really can close. So it's going to cost me $50,000 plus employee tax, all that stuff. Let's say $50,000. It's going to cost me $50,000 to find out if this guy is good. That's a huge ask. But now I'm trying to shrink that down to these smaller ones where it's like, okay, look, I'm going to hire this dude at $7 an hour just to get me littler sales, and then I'm going to hire another guy up from there to give me a little bit bigger sales. I'm just going to try and step up my game from a sales perspective. We'll see how it goes. I have no idea, honestly. It's just one of those things where I know I need to do it. I've been slacking. Honestly, I've just been fucking not doing it, and I should be. So I don't know. We're gonna see what happens. But I think that's about it. I'm pretty sure I've talked everyone's ear off by now. I don't think you really want to listen to anything else I have to say at this particular moment in time. So I'm gonna let everybody go. Hope you guys learned at least one thing today, because if you did, it makes the entire podcast worth it. If one person learns one thing that helps benefit their life, fuck, man, this whole thing is worth it, right? Because that's what it's about. It's all the little things that add up to the big thing. So, hope you guys enjoyed it. I'm Adam, Art of the Hustler. Instagram podcast is on YouTube, iTunes, Spotify, and Google Play Store thing. So feel free to check it all out, whatever makes it easier for you to follow us on. Please share this with anyone else that you think might be interested. And if you have any questions, please hit me up anywhere that this thing is being shared. Hit me up on Instagram. You can hit me up on email. Hit me up, YouTube, whatever. I'm down to answer any of your questions. If you want to call in and talk to me, feel free. I'll set it up. I've done it before. Just check it out. See you guys around. Peace.